Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my review of the Eastern semifinal, the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Montreal Alouettes. The Tiger Cats will win this game and advance to the Eastern final to face the Toronto Argonauts for a shot to be in the Grey Cup game. So what do I think about this? This was not a great game by Montreal. They didn't put up a good look. They made a lot of glaring errors. And the thing about Hamilton is they pounced on all of them. They made sure that whenever Montreal made any mistake, they immediately capitalized. And that was the biggest part of this game, was just Montreal kind of being victims of their own demise in a way. But anyways, going into the first quarter. So for about the first 8 minutes, it was kind of just back and forth a bit. Really not a whole lot happening. Montreal would then get a field goal, making it 3-0 for the Alouettes. And I thought at this point, Trevor Harris looked not bad. I thought, there were some passes he was missing, but they were, difficult-ish passes. He was hitting some of them. Overall, I thought it was a standard game, at that point. And then there would be a big sack by the Hamilton defense. That is the first of many times you're probably going to be hearing that from me right now. The Hamilton defense, specifically. The Hamilton D-line of this game are, they are the stars of this game. This Hamilton D-line was putting so much pressure, and the Montreal O-line just could not take it. They couldn't keep it out, and they paid the price for it. But anyways, it would kind of, from there, it would just kind of go back and forth a little bit more. Not much would happen, and that would kind of be the end of the first quarter. Second quarter is where this really starts to pick up. The Alouettes would drop a punt. They would keep it. They didn't have Hamilton punt it and then recover it, which would be just horrible. They did recover it, but they don't have great field position because they obviously weren't able to run forward because he dropped it. And then Trevor Harris to Reggie White Jr. And this was an awesome pass. It was one of those things where it really looked like I was starting to get concerned if Trevor Harris at this point in the game, it was starting to kind of get to him, like that defense of the Hamilton Tiger Cats was really starting to put a lot of pressure on him. He stayed calm at this point in time, made a good throw to Reggie White Jr. And then Harris, right after this, absolutely blunders the snap, and Hamilton gets possession. Reaction here.
Damn. What a blunder by the Alouettes. That is huge for Hamilton. Trevor Harris had it and completely screws the pooch here. Dang. What a play by the Tiger Cats. That's some great defense right there.
Yep, so big play there. Huge thing for Hamilton going forward. And then immediately, Mazzoli to Banks for a Hamilton touchdown.
There they go. That's the first one. Brandon Banks. First touchdown of the game. And it's funny because I heard some people saying that Brandon Banks wasn't going to do anything and that it was going to be Jalen Acklin doing everything for the Ticats. And I was like, nah, I don't think so. I mean, Tiger Cats do a good job normally turning it up to the playoffs, and they certainly have started with that.
Yep, and the convert would be good at making this 7-3 for the Tiger Cats. Going forward, Hamilton, I noticed their offense was really starting to pick it up here. This is when, it kind of came to my mind, like, how many points are they going to get in this quarter? And obviously you'll see exactly how much they will get. And then Hamilton will then punch it in, running it straight through, get their second touchdown of the quarter. Reaction here.
They do it again. What a second quarter for Hamilton. They really have been pushing this offense a lot. So I'll make this 13 or 14, depending on if they get the convert or not. It's a 3, so Hamilton looking good going into the second half.
Yep, and the convert would be good, making this a 14-3 game for the Tiger Cats. Quite the turnaround after being down 3-0. And Montreal at this point got a little bit desperate. They started to try these bigger throws, which I'm all for teams being ambitious, but it wasn't quite clicking. And then Montreal gets sacked and forces has a turnover again. Tiger Cats take advantage of this one, and Hamilton will march it down the field, get themselves a field goal, making this 17-3. And then eventually they would get another field goal later that quarter, making it 20-3 going into halftime. So this was an ugly second quarter for the Alouettes. The Alouettes absolutely blundered everything they possibly could blunder, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats took advantage of all of that. You know, that like I said, the biggest part of this game, as good as that Hamilton offense was that second quarter, the Hamilton defense is what was really the driving force of the Tiger Cats for their offense got opportunities because of the work that was done on defense. The defense set them in good field position for the offense to be able to take over and carry it in and get the touchdown. Anyways, going into the third quarter, Montreal, they're looking for a spark. They're looking for something that, can get this game going for them. So we go back and forth for a little bit, and Stanback was quite struggling with this Hamilton D-line. Like I said, the O-line was too, so I'm not entirely surprised that the running back was as well, because the O-line's got to open up a gap for the running back. If they don't do that, then it's not much the running back can do, But then Trevor Harris would then throw a pick. Reaction here.
For Montreal? Yeah. Trevor Harris. Good God. 2 snaps screwed up, and then they throw a pick? That's 17 unanswered. And now there's only like half a minute left, but there's no reason they can't get another field goal on this.
Half a minute left.
In the half. Yeah, there's like 30 seconds left, but there's definitely enough time for Hamilton to get a nice good throw in and then go for the field goal. So I think that's probably what they're going to do. Because, with just Montreal mistakes alone, they would have given up 6 points in 3 minutes.
Yep, so this is where I was really starting to think like, oh boy, what's happening with Harris here? This ain't looking good. And then Hamilton would have an unsuccessful drive after that. And then Harris, finally something good would happen. Harris would throw it to Lewis for the touchdown. Reaction here.
They can't get the running game going, so at least they got the throwing game. Looks like that going for third on third helped them. Touchdown Alouettes.
Yep, and the convert would be good, making this 20-10 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So Montreal's made up a bit of ground, Going into the fourth quarter, can they get enough to really stay in this? And at this point in time, there's no question that they have the time to do it. It's just, can they get everyone on board and get everyone on the same page to get this to work? Specifically in that Montreal offense, the offensive core, your linemen as well as Trevor Harris behind him. You got to give Harris some room to work with, and Harris has got to realize, and Harris has got to be a bit quicker on these, He was slowing it down a little bit. Hamilton was taking full advantage of that. Fourth quarter, though, starts off a little bit slow, not a ton happening. And then the cornerback for the Tiger Cats, Lawrence, would go down. He would come back later, though. So the good news for the Tiger Cats, he's not injured, he's not out, which he's one of their better players, so you definitely don't want to see something like that. And then Trevor Harris gets sacked the very next play. This was a pathetic performance by the Montreal O-line. And I say that as a former O-lineman myself, I understand that it is a hard job. I get that. But the amount of pressure that Harris had, he had no room for anything. And I'm not saying that Harris gets a pass in this at all, because I don't think Harris had that great of a game either. But one of the things that was the most, that really, I think, kind of rattled Harris was the lack of room and the lack of time that this O-line gave him. So not a great game by the O-line for the Alouettes, at least in my opinion. And then, Montreal would go on offense, and then they would have a play where they would challenge for pass interference. And this is where they're on 3rd and 10. So you can clearly tell that because it's getting later in the quarter at this point, coach is just trying to get the team a first down because they need to get the offense going. They need points on the board. They would lose this challenge, and lose their timeout, wouldn't get anything. I don't really blame him for challenging. It was a little bit close. I could see how it could be turned over. All right, so then the Hamilton punt returner completely fumbles it. Montreal takes advantage, and I'm thinking, wow, this is what they need. You know, maybe they could get it go. Oh, wait, no yards? Ah, fuck, you know? So Hamilton would challenge this for no yards, and the second I saw the replay, I knew exactly what was happening. I knew they weren't getting this. So, you know, Montreal at this point, they just can't catch a break. And then Hamilton would then march it down, get themselves a field goal, making this 23-10 later in the quarter. And then Hamilton, with the defense, really kicks it up here. Montreal marches the field, gets down to the 9-yard line. They're looking for that touchdown. Hamilton, three straight incomplete passes that they were just knocking out of receivers' hands, left, right, and center. Some fantastic plays by some of the cornerbacks and the DBs on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Full props to them for that. I'm not gonna lie, it was really impressive. And then Hamilton, when they get possession, they actually run backwards because they're trying to kill as much time as they can. They're willing to give up that 2 points if they can kill an extra 20 seconds. So they do that, and then Montreal would go back on offense, and then, god damn it, Harris fumbles the ball again. Montreal, if you gotta hold on to the damn ball. And I get it. It's snowing. It's difficult to hold on to it. I played center. I get that. I played in the snow. I played in the ice. I played in crappy conditions. But the reality of the fact is, do you know who's also playing in those crappy conditions? Jeremiah Mazzoli and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And you didn't see him dropping it left, right, and center. So it's not an excuse because it applies to both teams here. But yeah, and then Hamilton, after killing enough time getting control of the ball, they would take a knee, run down the clock, and secure their spot in the Eastern Final to face the Toronto Argonauts. So, what do I think of this game? I think that this was a subpar game by the Alouettes, a game that they had potential to do things in sparks of glory, but they just couldn't figure out this defense. They really that was the main failure of the Alouettes here today. Was that the Montreal offense, and mainly the core offense. I mean, they had receivers dropping balls and this and that, but Harris just didn't have enough room to work with. And Harris just didn't have the game he needed to have in order to win the game, you know? I expected that Hamilton would step it up going into playoffs. They always do. And what do you know? Tiger Cats step up. So I'm curious to see how their game against the Argonauts will go. I think they have a good shot. I think the Argos have a good shot either. I think it's pretty even on that one. I don't know who I would give the advantage to. But yeah, so make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to be having an interview with Chris Walby coming out December 3rd. Make sure you stay in touch for that on the Prairie Puck podcast that will be premiering on our channel. And then also, later today, I'll be posting my full review of the Western semifinal between the Stampeders and the Roughriders. I'm going to be going up and watching that the second I'm done editing this. So make sure you guys take care, and I'll see you guys next time.